Okay, so doing the watch list video for next week, just doing it a little early here. I'm traveling tomorrow, so I am gonna be busy, and I wanted to get this video out for you guys now, and so you're ready for next week, ready for tomorrow, so on and so forth. Okay, so breaking down the markets. First thing is one of the main things we kind of want to watch out for going into this week is we are seeing the daily time frame when we start there. We'll even zoom out to the weekly. So first, the weekly time frame broke below the trailing stop, couldn't close below it, and you can see here it's still blue, meaning that we're still seeing upside. We go to the daily time frame, you can see we're breaking that trailing stop there, and I'll be interested to see if we can hold this into the close, and that will kind of be key, as you can see. So if we go back and review the times that we've broken this trailing stop. So what will happen is you'll get break of the trailing stop, you'll get a flush and trade below it, then you break above it, and then you start trending. You get a break below, break back above, you start trending again, and then we break below, and then trade lower for a while. And I'm thinking, based on how everything is acting, what it's looking like is that we are seeing a break below the trailing stop, and then now, which is similar to here, right? And we got an impulse leg down, and then another impulse leg down, and then we broke the trailing stop. And notice the trend bars turn green here, and this looks pretty similar. This just looks a lot more dramatic. And so we got this break of the trailing stop. We put in a lower high, and then put in a lower low, lower high, lower low, and now we're trying to break that. This 786 level from this retracement here is going to be pretty key. So if we can get above that, that's kind of what I'm looking for. That that will be kind of a key sign of continuation. But typically what happens is we'll get a break of the trailing stop, and then we'll get some sort of little flush and maybe retest the 21 EMA. And I can move this line up a little bit. But typically that's what will happen. So we may see a rejection here, flush back down to this area right here around 545, and then go back into a continuation here. So that's typically what we will see going into once we break the trailing stop. Like you can see here, we broke the trailing stop, had a little bit of a push up for a couple days, and then flush back down, and then started a new trend. Now we're getting a flip, and so that's what I'm looking for. So really the first step is we need to break this trailing stop, which we are right now, but we need to close above it for it to be valid. Then we might get a couple days of pullback, and that will be the determining factor of, okay, are we going to continue higher? But once we break this trailing stop, it's a pretty high probability that we will continue higher unless we get something like this, where we get that break above and then consolidate for a while, break back below, and then start flushing again. So that's that. Initially, we get this break. Step two, we hold the higher low. The first pullback will be very telling. And then from there, we trade as usual. So that's what I'm looking for in SPY. I think probably the initial first step that or lower time frames we can be using the trailing stop is this 1 hour. It's been pretty consistent in terms of tracking this. So we get the break below the trailing stop, we trend lower for a while, we broke above, and now we're trending higher. So we'll keep an eye on that one. But the main one, just keeping it simple, look at that daily trailing stop, and we'll go from there. And then stocks that we want to watch, the QQQ, little different. Haven't broke the trailing stop yet, so that's a little cautionary tale there. So we do want to be aware of that. So as long as we break or don't, we want to see it break here before we can start trending higher. So probably will be something similar to this here. So here we traded up, 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 sideways, break, and so on and so forth. Here we broke back above, traded higher, and then we broke back below, traded lower. Now QQQ, we got to break above this trailing stop as well. So little cautious. We're not full blown bull yet because tech is definitely looking more weak. Few reasons: we broke below the trailing stop on the weekly time frame. You can see when we did that here, we flushed, we traded higher, 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 broke it here, flushed, broke it here, a little bit of a fake out, and then we haven't broke it since. So basically 2 out of the, well, actually, here was a fake out. So around probably 65, 75% of the time when we get that trailing stop break on the weekly time frame, that's usually bearish. Now, if we take a look at SPY, we can see here the break there. This one was a fake out, break there. This one was still a flush, but we just have to be cautious of that. And from there, let's go to some of the stock or the sectors that we're watching. Whoop. Need to lower this real quick. Okay, so sectors, while this loads up, main thing that we're looking at here is XLP is the strongest sector here. This one's already breaking out, but that kind of leads me into the stocks that I'm watching. So Costco, we had a 1 hour squeeze, 30-minute squeeze, and now we're headed to the upside about $7 at this point. So like 1% from that. And then, but XLP remains fully valid. I've been talking about this one for a very long time. You can see we go to the monthly. We've got monthly buy signals. We've got weekly buy signals. We've got 3-day, 2-day, daily, 4-hour, and I think that's it. The rest of them have fired off at this point. So this one has been a clear one that has been ready to break out for quite some time. And we've been talking about this for a while. So it's finally getting its nice breakout with Walmart earnings. So what I tried to do was I tried to play Walmart long and look, and we got in somewhere right here. I think it was right here, and then or right here, and then we broke below 21. I cut it for minus like 12%. But I was looking for this to continue higher as XLP was setting up. And that didn't end up happening, but we were able to catch XLP a few different times. Now, what we're going to have to do is at this point is now that we're starting to move, we're going to want to look for those 30-minute squeeze plays to trade to the upside. So we'll be looking for those lower time frame signals to continue to trade this to the upside. It finally hit that $80 mark, but now we got to wait for continuation. We go look at the other sectors here. Let's see, XLV is setting up. So this one also a little extended. So we want to look for a lower time frame squeeze. There's the 15-minute here that's setting up. This one could be a very valid trade. I mean, this is a clean trend inside a daily squeeze. So this one actually looks good for some upside. So I think we're through a lot of the major earnings. If we look at Lilly, this one has had strength ever since earnings coming out. So I do think that we could probably see continuation into a new high. And UNH has also been strong. So this one looks good as well. So XLV, probably a pretty solid chance it could head higher. So let's keep an eye on this one, XLV. So that's the healthcare sector. We've got right now just the daily and 15-minute buys. XLU, oops. XLU. This one's got 4-hour buy signals. This actually looks great. So I'm definitely going to keep this on the watch list and see how the end of day shapes up. And we could potentially trade this to the upside. So cool. I like that. I like that. Daily losing a little bit of steam. 2-day just now fire, or 3-day firing off. Weekly, no squeeze, but monthly, we do have a buy signals on the monthly. So I would like to see a few more buy signals on XLU and then to look for a continuation, but that one looks good as well. Other than that, I mean, besides that, the board looks pretty good. XLC is setting up as well. So we've got a daily buy, we've got weekly buys, we've got what was the other one? Okay, so we have weekly and daily buys here. So interesting. So that's going to be Meta. So names like Meta. Meta's daily squeeze is already fired, but one that I do want to keep a close eye on is Netflix because this one has a excellent looking weekly squeeze. So Google is definitely a laggard in the XLC, but XLC itself looks awesome. You can see the last weekly squeeze we had took us up pretty quickly. So I'm thinking that this is a very valid setup. So we'll keep this one on the watch list as well. So we can continue through here. Is there anything else that kind of stands out? XRT getting a monthly buy and weekly. So weekly buy signal on XRT. Do I like how choppy it is? We've got a clear resistance level here at about $80. And then we've got monthly buys. So this could be a longer term hold, but in comparison to the other things like XLC, I'd rather trade XLC with how this chart looks near all-time highs rather than the other. So, okay. And then as for the watch list, so one that I do really like, if we zoom out from to the monthly time frame, we have a monthly squeeze with buy signals on Exxon. Okay. Weekly, we've got slingshot squeeze, but we're below the trailing stop. The daily has buy signals here, and the 1 hour has buy signals. And then the 15-minute also has printed a buy signal. So I think we do need to get through this key resistance here. But once we do at 120, once we break that, it's a clear path back into this high. And hopefully that could trigger the monthly time frame squeeze, which with all of that being said, I think that's an excellent looking setup. Another one here. So if we look at GE, we go out to the higher time frames. We've got a weekly squeeze. We've got a 3-day buy signal. We've got a 2-day buy signals. We've got daily buy signals. We've got no 4-hour, but we've got 1-hour buy signals as well. So all of these are kind of setting up for this. I think a lot of people were anticipating this breakout. We faked them out, and then now we had to rip up. So I do like that as well. So that's one to keep an eye on too. And on top of that, this is the top holding in XLI. XLI has a 3-day buy signal, 2-day buy signal, and I think that's it. 2-day buy signal, and then the weekly is a beautiful looking squeeze. So it's only a matter of time for this thing to fire off, and I think GE will help lead the way. But this thing's at all-time highs, so we'll have to decide whether we want to trade this one or XLE, or sorry, GE. Next, this one we talked about last Friday. We've got buy signals in now. So this is a daily time frame setup. 2-day, it's got a buy signal. 3-day had buy signals and is firing off now. The weekly has buy signals, and so this one probably going to head higher, at least into that $900 spot. That's what I'm looking for on that. eBay, this one choppy, and I'm thinking this one probably the best way to play it. I think we're on a path to this 58.60, 58.50 area. But I think that probably the best way to play this, because it has been so choppy and hasn't had a breakout yet, would be like if we look at the monthly. The monthly's got buy signals. We look at the weekly, it's got buy signals. We look at the 3-day, it's got buy signals. The 2-day, it's got buy signals. The daily, it's got buy signals. The 4-hour, it's got buy signals. The 2-hour, nope. 1 hour, nope. 30-minute buy signals. So we've got buy signals everywhere. Okay. The problem with this is look at how it's been choppy. It reminds me of APO, where it just chop, and grinded higher. And it's just like that kind of sucks to trade. So what I would probably prefer is let the daily squeeze fire off, and then maybe we trade a 30-minute squeeze. That's just my personal opinion. You could definitely try to catch this breakout. It could happen. But right now we're trading between the earnings high and the earnings low candle. So we're stuck in this range. We're going to break out one way or the other, but we've been following this daily and 4-hour 21 EMA pretty tightly. So yeah, that's kind of your line in the sand. Next run here. This one's a little extended, but I think this one can really get a move going. We've got daily and 4-hour buy signals on this one. So I think that we've got some resistance here at $20, but this could be in part of a larger breakout if we can get above this resistance area here. Weekly squeeze is firing. And when you see this kind of price action where it's just like sloping up in a really strong way, that's usually a really good sign for a stock. But okay, so that's kind of my watch list for going into next week, what I'm looking at in the next week, and kind of the main things that I'm paying attention to. But I hope this helps. Thank you guys for watching. On Wednesday of this next week, the 21st, I will be holding a Q&A for the indicators, the buy and sell signals, the trailing stop, the profit targets, all of that stuff. I will be holding a Q&A for this to cover all of it, and hopefully get some questions answered that you guys may have, and we'll go from there. And a lot of people have been loving this indicator so far. Haven't heard anything bad about it. And yeah, it's been something that has been in the works for a long time, and we're only just improving it. But let me know if you guys have questions. Thank you guys for watching. And I will, and the webinar is completely free as well. So come join us. The link will be posted in the Discord. But all right, guys, have a good weekend, and I'll see you for the markets next week.